Hey everyone, it is Kirsten here, back with the somewhat anticipated Q&A video that I've been talking about in my past few videos. Q&A being questions and answers. If you haven't heard the lingo before, if you haven't joined the YouTube club, you know, everyone's doing Q&As and collabs and, you know, all these abbreviated things. So yeah, so hopefully this video will help you to know me a little bit better. If you're wondering, like, who is this lady and why is she trying to act like she knows something about ballet? Yeah, I hope that you will think after this that maybe I do know a thing or two about ballet, and that I am cool enough for you to keep watching my videos, I hope. Even though this channel isn't about me, it's just about the art of ballet and sharing knowledge and information and building community, right? Anyway, as some of my favorite Irish YouTubers say, that's enough waffle. We're gonna get on with the conversation. So, I will get on with the first question. It is, what conservatory did you dance at? I danced at Houston Ballet Academy, but I grew up at, like, dancing at a really small studio in South Texas until I was 17, and then my senior year of high school and the year after that, I took a gap year to continue dancing at Houston Ballet. So that is where, like, the conservatory I danced at before college, that is. The next one says, as an older college grad auditioning for companies, did it seem like it was harder to get a contract as opposed to a younger dancer? Oh my gosh, my cat is so cute. I'm sorry. She was like rolling over, and earlier she was licking my hand like I'm one of her kittens. I think she's confused, like I'm one of her babies, and like, but technically she's kind of my baby. I think we have this mutual relationship where it's like, you're my child and I love you. Like, that's what she thinks of me as. So anyway, we get along. Maybe I'll add in some bonus like kitty footage at the end if you're interested. Okay, so back to the question. No, I actually felt like my maturity or added maturity compared to when I auditioned for companies at 19. So like coming in 3 years later, I felt more experienced, more mature, much more confident, and confidence is like numero uno in auditions, because if you're not confident, the directors and people sitting there at the table, like, they could see straight through that, and they want to look at someone dancing who is sure of themselves. It really makes all of the difference. So I felt like I had an advantage in the audition process. However, the only downside being a little bit older is that, like, for instance, if I were just 20 instead of 22, then I would be eligible for more second companies, and a lot of second companies that are like on the better side and actually pay the dancers. I was a little bit too old for some of those, like by 1 year. I would like send out my audition video and stuff, and they'd say, we like your dancing, but we don't like to have dancers in our second company that are over 20 or 22. So I was like, or 21. But, you know, that's okay, because there was still a place for me, obviously. It's just like give and take. So yeah, you just have to find your place. And then the second part of that says, did you specifically look to audition for companies that had dancers who went to college? So no, I didn't. But when I did my research and looked at the company bios of like the dancers, I thought it was cool. It was like an added bonus when there were plenty of dancers who got like higher education, because I thought, oh, maybe I'll just fit in there more. It seems cool. Like maybe the director values education or mature dancers. So yeah, it was just kind of like an added bonus, but I didn't seek it out, especially since I felt like I was kind of more selective than most as far as like choosing what companies I wanted to audition for. I knew like the areas I wanted to live in, which was mostly like the South because I missed home, and I liked the culture and everything. And yeah, I knew that I wanted to do classical ballet with a little contemporary and ballet machine works and stuff. So yeah, that really narrowed down my decision process as it was. So I was not about to add another filter on my search, so to speak. So the next two questions, one I already answered, but how tall are you and how old are you? Those are very popular questions as of recently. So I am 5 feet and 8 inches. I'm not really tall. I'm just considered a tall girl in ballet. But then when I talk to people in real life, for the most part, like there are definitely some people who are like, you're really tall, and I'm like, not really. But most people, I'm like, yeah, I'm considered really tall in the ballet world, and they're like, aren't you just like 5'8" or something? I'm like, yeah. So it's kind of like a weird height to be at, where some people, it's like controversial. Like my hair color, people are like, you're not a redhead. How dare you consider yourself a redhead? I'm like, I'm not. Like, ooh, you think you're so cool? You're like, you're some cool like ginger or something. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to flatter myself. I just literally don't know how to describe my hair color. Like, strawberry blonde? Yeah, I don't know. It looks lighter in the sunlight. But anyway, I'm getting on so many tangents right now. But you know, it's just all part of you getting to know me, I suppose. And maybe I can get to know you more in the comments, and we're going to build like a community. That's the goal here. Sorry, so many tangents. Second part of the question. Already answered it. I'm 22. Do you have an Instagram? I do, but it is a personal Instagram account, and I'm just really not into like posting a lot of pictures, especially ballet pictures. So I feel like if I created an account for my YouTube channel, I just wouldn't know what to post, and it just wouldn't be very good. So I think I'm considering making a Facebook page for this channel just to have more communication with you guys outside of the YouTube space, just in case there is like a random 2-week break I take from filming and you're like, where is she? Did she die? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Yeah, so thinking about it. Also because I don't do Twitter. I'm just not into it. I tried it like twice, and both times I think I did like one post and then I was done. So next question. What did you do during college breaks / holidays? Go home, stay on campus, take class, rest, etc. I pretty much always went home because living 1,500 miles from my home in South Texas, I was going to school in Utah, by the way. I missed home a lot, and I didn't see my family very often, so I would always love to go home and just take a break from everything. I would, not really do much on breaks other than like cook, because I love to cook. So cooking for my family is like my favorite thing in the world. I love doing it. I like meal plan. I try and like cook things that are really impressive, and then by the end, I was joking that when I was home during August, I was like earning my keep with my parents because I would be their private chef, and at the end my dad was like, don't go, I want you to cook for me. And I'm like, that's right, you still want me around. Just kidding. We all love each other, and they would just want me to stay because they like me, not just my cooking. So, okay, yeah, so that's what I did. Oh, and as far as dancing, I most of the time would take like 1 or a week and a half off of taking class after coming home, and then I've learned as I've gotten older that it is harder and harder as you come off of like 2 or 3 week breaks as you get older to like come back, and it just gets really painful to just hit it so hard on the first day back without any sort of preconditioning. It always hurts my body. I always feel bad about myself because I feel so weak and like out of shape, and so for my physical and mental game, I always just try and take a couple classes while I'm on break, and especially like leading up to going back, I'll take a few more, and I find that it's fun. It's not burdensome at all to me, and it just it makes the transition back to activity much nicer. So I would recommend that. The next questions, or series of questions, is what is your dream role? Do you take supplements? Do you have favorite ballet skirts? So my dream role is, well, I have a few, but my main one is, if you've ever seen The Concert or The Perils of Everybody, it's like in parentheses, but most companies just call it The Concert, by Jerome Robbins. Well, you've probably seen like pictures of it in Point Magazine and stuff, the people in blue leotards and blue tights, or they have like crazy like wigs on and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, where is that armpit sweat coming from? I need to turn down my AC, I'm sorry. Anyway, more tangents, wow. So in that ballet, it's a comedic ballet. I absolutely love it. There's a piano on stage, so there's live music, of course, and the pianist is actually kind of a character in the ballet. So it's very interactive, very funny, and it is just like, I feel like it is just me in a ballet. I love to have a sense of humor. I love playing the piano. And just music in general. Like, music is a huge reason why I dance. I believe dance is just enjoying good music. I mean, of course, you can dance without music, but I feel like dance came from just an outward expression of the way music makes you feel, and that is what the ballet is all about. And there's this dancer, the principal female dancer. Is titled The Ballerina, and I love it. She's like this tall girl who's just so whimsical and just funny, and she's just so in love with the music, and there's another character who's like in love with her and trying to get her attention, but she just goes and like hugs the piano, and she's just dancing around so happy, and yeah, she's just very light and carefree, and I would love to do that role. It would be amazing. Yeah. Oh, and if you have seen like a clip of the 6 ballerinas dancing, it's like the really funny part where there are 6 girls like in the blue, with the blue skirts, the blue tights, blue shoes, and each one is like forgetting the dance as the dance goes on. It's super funny. You've probably seen that on YouTube, and if you haven't, please look it up. It's hilarious. I would love to be a part of that if I never got to be the ballerina. I just want to be in the ballet. So, sorry, next question. Do you take any supplements? I do not currently. I try to eat enough nutrients in my diet where, like, I say to myself that I want my diet to be like my supplements. I want it to be everything I need. But of course, it's not always possible. I don't always get enough vitamin D and things like that. So I'm thinking about taking vitamin D and calcium supplements. I know there's like research that supports and does not support this. I mean, but that's like pretty much for everything. You can disprove or prove most anything you want with the tool of the internet. So I'm thinking about it. Our company doctor or physician suggested it, so I might start that. But as of right now, no, I don't. My favorite ballet skirts are from Elevate, and also my mom made me like, she used the Elevate skirt that I got and like basically made the exact same one in black, and I like all of that. It's the it's the style that's like the little black skirt from Elevate, but I got it in like Java, I think the fabric was, so it's kind of like a taupe color, and I love it. I don't really like wrap skirts anymore. I just feel like since I have more of like an hourglass shape, I don't have like a really straight pelvis. So it's not like I have a huge butt or anything, or it's like pelvis, but when you have more of a shape, I suppose, I just feel like wrap skirts kind of fit strangely. So I love that skirt. It's just like a pull-up. Love it. Do you take time out of dance to go to, or did you take time out of dance to go to university? No, because I did both at once. I went to the University of Utah and got my BFA in ballet, so I danced in college. Boom. So, are any of your fellow OKC ballet apprentices college grads? Yes, and I love talking to them. I've actually been thinking about asking some of them to like do a video with me where we just talk about our college experiences, because so I graduated from the University of Utah. There's another from Indiana University and another from Butler. So I thought that would be so cool, and we can like compare our experiences and maybe get some info out there for those of you who are considering applying. What is the best advice you would give to an aspiring dancer? Guys, that's a hard question. I feel like it is most important, and people don't say this enough, you need to really get your head in the game and be a smart dancer. I think I see so many dancers just working so hard and desperately clinging to these affectations they have because they think it works for them. Like, I know it's so hard, but I would just say, like, be really willing to like take a step back in your technique and Like for instance, I think that pelvic placement is extremely important in accessing your rotation, your balance, just building strength and stability. It is everything. It's like your base, because rotation does come from the pelvis. So it's really important to get the right alignment. And for me, this was so hard. I'm still not great at it. I still work on it all the time. I still feel like I come back from break and I have to retrain my muscles to go into proper alignment. Like, it's a constant battle, but there were so many times when I was learning to stop like tilting my pelvis. And I felt like I would just consistently have to have like a horrible class because I was so fixated on like engaging my glutes and lengthening the front of my hips and not engaging my quads so much. And so that took so much of my energy that it made my dancing worse for a little bit. But then once I got it, it skyrocketed. So I would say like really think, don't be afraid to take risks in what you're doing, and like doing what I just said, and just really be sure to be sensitive to your environment and to learn, and just be really honest with where you're at with your technique. Do not self-deprecate. I think it is just tragic when people fall into that trap. It really doesn't do you any favors, especially with your peers. Like if you're self-deprecating or having self-deprecating behavior in order to get attention from people, that's just not a really good thing. So don't do it to yourself, don't do it to others so that you're fishing for compliments. Like just find value in who you really are and who you want to be, who you aspire to be, and the good things that you do, not like I am having a fat day and so someone says, no, you're really skinny. Like, don't do that. So yeah, much advice. I have a lot of advice. I should just make a video about it. Yes, so be honest with yourselves. Congratulate yourself for the things that you do well, and the things you do not do well, like don't ignore that and say, oh, I do this thing really well. Work on that and be humble about it and honest with yourself. And that leads to the most, I don't want to say success, improvement. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this video is so long. I'm going to try and speed through this. What point shoes are you currently wearing, and do you like them? Yes, I do like them. I wear Freed Classics in the Deep Vamp style. Get ready. Okay. Freed Classic, Deep Vamp style, 5 single X, B Maker. That's my favorite. Although apparently it's out of stock now, so I'm like, I don't know. And the F Maker allegedly retired. I was going through this today with the company manager, like trying to get shoes, and we'll see what I continue to wear, but as of right now, I have a few pairs of the B Maker, and it's my favorite, so hopefully I could get something similar, if not the real deal. Have you ever tried gyrotonic? Yes, I did it once. My sister was super into it. She made a video about it a long time ago if you want to check it out. I think it's really beneficial. For me, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking hard. And I was training intensely enough at the time, so I really didn't have the space in my life to cross-train, but I think it's a really awesome, really cool thing. The only downside is it's really expensive. But yeah, by all means, check it out if you're interested. When do you think that, sorry, I should learn how to read. When did you think is the best time to move from your home studio to a pre-professional school? Like I said, I went for my senior year of high school. I think it's good when you're like 16 or 17. That's like the prime age. Because I think as far as like touching on developmental stuff, it's important to stay at home for plenty of years and like have the guidance of your parents and things like that. I've seen a lot of kids who go away really young, and they do sometimes get a lot of success in their ballet careers, but and I don't want to offend anybody, and this is by all means not everyone I've met who's gone away at like 13 or 14. I just feel like they're a little bit behind sometimes as far as like in their maturity, or they're basically growing up around people who are also away from home, away from parental influence, and being raised sometimes by teachers who aren't very nice to them or very good examples. Like, a lot of pre-professional schools are not the most positive environments. I could talk more about that later, but it's pretty harsh. And so for a young person, that could be really hard. So you kind of have to like have a good foundation, know who you are, know what you're getting into. But if you have all that together and you're 14, like, sure, if you really want to do it. But I'd say 16 or 17. That's my answer. How did you get from college into a company, and what was the experience of looking for companies like? Well, I just did the usual. Like, I did company auditions during the springtime, on the weekends while I was doing school, and since we had Saturday and Sunday off, it was not an issue for me. I would just get flights like during the weekend and come back, and it was no big deal. And yeah, from there, I'm really going to touch a lot more on this in my company audition video series that will be coming up soon. But yeah, the thing is, don't expect to get a contract straight out of auditioning for the companies, because the climate has really changed, and people just don't really hand out contracts after one audition anymore. That just doesn't really happen unless you're like crazy awesome or just come across really awesome luck. And so I got into a company by doing the auditions. Then I got invited to go to the summer programs for Atlanta Ballet and Oklahoma City Ballet to be considered for full-time positions. So then from there, I did those programs and they made the decision. So yeah, that's how I got in. It's a long process, arduous, and very trying, but worth it in the end, obviously. And this also says, also, have you seen Harper Waters pre-show videos? They're hilarious, LOL. Yes, they are funny, and I did know him once upon a time because we were both in Houston, so it's kind of weird to see him in the studios again and be like, oh, I kind of miss it, kind of, I don't know, like, oh, I danced there once, whoa, and he's really cool and really famous, and like, I'm like trying to get on his level, but not really, because I never will. But anyway, that's enough chit chat for now, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you have more questions, go ahead and put them down below. I can answer some, or maybe make another Q&A video sometime. But yeah, for now, I hope that you liked this, and I thank you very kindly if you did make it to the end, because this is an insanely long video, so bless you for still watching. But yeah, I will come at you soon with another video. See you later. Bye.